Now here's your first actionable takeaway, and I can promise you as sure as I'm standing here, for those of you that are willing to take the time to do this self-audit that I'm about to explain over this weekend, it is an absolute game changer. I encourage each and every one of you to make the commitment to do it, but then I want you to make sure that you share this with your teams. At some point over the weekend, I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to draw a line down the middle. On the left side of the line, I want you to write down an exhaustive list of the things that, let's just say, fill your bucket. The things that light you up, the things that energize you, the things that make you feel alive, the things that you enjoy, the things that add to your confidence. And these can be things for your physical, your mental, your emotional, or your spiritual well-being if that's appropriate to you. This can be hopping on a Peloton bike or taking a yoga class or going for a jog. This can be meditation or prayer or reading a book or listening to a podcast. This could simply be getting up 30 minutes before the rest of your family gets up so you can enjoy some quiet and some stillness while you enjoy some coffee and read the paper. But whatever it is, the things that fill your bucket mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, if that's appropriate to you, I want you to come up with a list and put that on the left-hand side. Then on the right-hand side of the paper, on the right-hand side of that line, I want you to write down how you've been spending the bookends of your day, your morning and your evening routine. What do you typically do for the first 60 minutes after you wake up, and what do you typically do for the 60 minutes before you go to bed? Now remember that study I referenced earlier. I promise you, every single person in this room, myself included, has a morning and an evening routine. My question is, have you designed it with intention and with purpose, or have you just allowed yourself to default and fall backwards into it? So anyway, I want you to write down what you do every morning when you wake up and every evening before you go to bed. And to complete this self-audit, I just want you to compare the two sets of notes. And I want you to ask yourself the most pivotal question you can ask when it comes to improving individual performance. And that is, are you doing the things you need to do to fill your bucket so you can show up as your best self? Are you doing them, right-hand side of the paper, so that you can show up consistently as the best version of yourself? See, the ability to make a maximum contribution and to improve your personal influence and impact is a matter of luck. And it's not haphazard. It's done by strategy, and it's done by caring enough about yourself to fill your cup first. There's an old adage that's been around a lot longer than I've been around, and that is you can't pour anything out of an empty cup. Which means from an influence and impact standpoint, if your cup is empty, you have nothing to offer anyone else. As leaders, when you show up as anything less than your best self, it is an act of selfishness. So care enough about yourself, care enough about those on your team, and certainly care enough about those that you all serve to prioritize your self-care and your well-being with our habits. Here's another homework assignment, and this one I'm speaking primarily to the clinic directors. I want you all to execute this. It's called the Big Three. I want you to make the time to schedule a quick one-on-one meeting with every single person at your clinic, regardless of title or tenure or position, and you're going to conduct what's called the Big Three audit. You ask them to write down, what are your three most important duties to our clinic, or most important responsibilities? Or what are the three things you can do to make a maximum contribution to everyone and everything around you? If you're only going to do three things in a given day, what do you think those three things should be? And get them to write those three things down. Then as the clinic director, I want you to write down what you think their big three are. Not yours, theirs. What do you think are their three most important duties or responsibilities? What do you think, knowing them and their skill sets, are the three ways they can make a maximum contribution to the clinic? That if they're going to show up on Monday and only do three things, what are the three things that you want them to be most focused on? And then to complete that audit, similar to the one we did earlier, you just compare the two sets of notes. You compare their notes, their big three with your big three, and you see how much alignment there is. And don't be surprised if you don't go 3 for 3. Don't be surprised if there's a little bit of misalignment between what they think they should be doing and what you think they should be doing. But don't let that frustrate you and don't let that discourage you. Actually look at that as a gift. That is an invitation for you all to reconcile and get on the same page. Because ultimately that's what will create the efficiency. That's what will help you all continue to create high-performing clinics. Use it as an invitation. Don't rule with an iron fist and take their card and rip it up and say, here's the three things you need to be doing. Instead, lean in with curiosity and fascination. Ask them, why were these the three things that you believe you can add the most value to our clinic? Why are these the three things you think you should focus on? And if you're open to it, I'd love to share my perspective. And then don't adjourn the meeting until you all are in lockstep, till you're in perfect alignment, And every single person on your team at your clinic knows exactly what they need to be focused on. Because remember, when it comes to priorities, if you have more than 3 priorities, then you really don't have any.